And the winner is... All right, guys, this is it. The final episode of the DIY Rambler build series where we build an off-road camper and give it away. In this video, we're going to be spraying the Raptor Liner on the camper. We're installing the entire electrical system, and we're putting on the finishing touches to get this thing ready to go.
And the moment you've been waiting for, we are announcing the winner of this giveaway. So be sure to stick around because by the end of this video, someone is officially taking this build home.
Let's get to it. All right, guys, so here's the reality of my situation. I'm here in Aiken, South Carolina, where our shop is, and we're currently moving to Franklin, North Carolina, and that's where Paige is. And Paige is almost 8 months pregnant, so it's kind of crazy for me to be down here. And the dilemma I have is to spend more time here fixing this thing up, which I'll talk about here in a second, or getting it done and getting back up to Franklin so I can be with Paige and help her get out of bed. But anyways, the dilemma is I'm not super stoked with the look of the appearance of the exterior of this. Now, it's all waterproof and it's going to be super durable with the fiberglass, the epoxy, and the Raptor Liner. When I pulled it outside, you can see tons of imperfections here on the front. Now, the sides and the top and the back are fine. We want to make things perfect here, so I'm just not super stoked about it. So this is why we always recommend using aluminum. The aluminum comes waterproof, you know, it's durable. A little pebble could bounce up and hit the aluminum. It might make a little dent, but it's not going to puncture it. It comes in colors, it's perfectly smooth. You just float it on there and then you put trim around it. It looks like a professional finish to it. These little imperfections bother me. So the dilemma is to stick around and try to make it perfect. So unfortunately, that's where we're at. All right, guys, another day, another update. Yesterday, it was the day when I had it outside and noticed a bunch of the wrinkles on the front. I decided then that I was just gonna leave it there, and because I was running out of time. But I talked to Paige about it and she was like, no, just stay as long as you need, fix it, make it look pretty, or you ain't coming home. That's what she said. Basically what I've done now is use the Bondo. I just Bondoed the entire front pretty much, and then some of the spots around the sides. So basically what I did, I got some of these drywall putty knives. I basically just did like you would do on some drywall. And I've just been going at it for the last couple hours. And I have a little bit left to do on the bottom, and that's why I turned the camera on so I could show you guys what's going on. And I'll walk you through the process as I'm doing it. Now I've noticed that the enemy of the Bondo is getting little chunks in there. Once you take this and you want to get like a nice flat layer on it, if you get a little dry chunk in there, it'll leave an indent going across the entire thing, and it's harder than heck to sand that out, and then you got to go back and refill it. The idea here is to make sure you scrape all of your tools off every time you make a new batch. So this is looking good. Now I got to get to work with it. It's pretty much just like drywall, if anybody knows how to drywall out there. And another tip, once it's on there, don't go back over it. It looks great right now. I'm not gonna go back over that. All right, I think that's gonna do it for the front. I mean, that's really pretty good. I'm really glad I did that. It didn't take as long as I was expecting it to. Thanks for the call, Paige. So I just spent, I think it was 5 bottles of the Raptor Liner. So that's it, guys. That's a wrap for the Raptor. I'm gonna pull off all this stuff. I want to drop it back down onto the trailer frame, and then I'm gonna bolt it to the frame, and then I think I might take dinner after that. We'll see. All right, I'm gonna quit talking and push this thing back inside. Baby, look at that. Okay, the last thing that I want to get done right now is bolting it to the frame. With our custom trailer frames, we have specific welded on tabs for bolting it onto the frame. They don't exist. But what people do is drill through the C channel, or there's already a bunch of holes there. You can try to make it work. But we want to make sure that we're getting through a framing member of the floor. So there's a 2x4 running right through the middle. There's 2x4s running down the side. And then there's 2x4s somewhere in the middle. I can measure where they are. Dilemmas, but we're going to figure it out. Here's what we got going on. I'm going to try to drill a hole straight through the floor and hit one of the holes below it from the outside of the trailer frame. This is exactly 5.5 inches. How'd we do? Oh, yeah. We nailed it. Perfect, guys. I never want to do that again. All right, so what I did, I took a small, what is this? 1364. It could be an 1/8 inch, something like that. And I drilled a hole on the bottom side of the C channel directly under a hole that already existed. So I drilled a hole with this starting out. Then I took my metal step bit and I opened it up to a 1/2 inch. Then the reason I took it to a 1/2 inch is so I could get this little thing inside that hole, because I needed to use a 3/8 inch drill bit from the bottom, and in order to get through it, because I'm trying to get through this floor, the floor is about here, and if it was just the drill bit I wouldn't be able to get all the way to the top. So I had to go all the way through with this little guy, and that did the job. All right, so that was not fun. Yet another reason why to avoid using the Northern Tool trailer frame. If you've used a Northern Tool or an Ultra Tow or a Harbor Freight trailer frame, one of these C-channel bolt-togethers, and you didn't do what I just did and you made it a lot easier on yourself, let me know what it was. Moving on, we're gonna bolt this thing down. We got, what is this, 3.5 inch carriage bolt. And then we're using a washer and a nut on the bottom, a lock nut. But before that, I'm gonna take some RV sealant and squirt it up inside that hole. And then I'm gonna push the bolt through and start spinning it. So try to get that RV sealant kind of spinning in there. Just getting it all up in that hole right there. So try to seal that thing up. This is the stuff you want. At least this is the stuff. ProFlex. RV sealant. It's pretty good stuff. Never really dries. Make sure you get clear, not crystal clear. Crystal clear dries like a silicone. This stuff doesn't dry. It always is kind of tacky. All right, so I got the carriage bolt in. Usually can take one good hit, just like that. And now she's in. All right, guys, getting ready to do a little bit of electrical. So what we're gonna use is an 1/8 inch drill bit. I'm just gonna drill straight through. I'm gonna come back with a 1/2 inch drill bit, and then I'm going to just go halfway on both sides. So, and that's just to avoid tear out on the other side. And then after that, we're basically gonna do the same thing on the bottom shelf of this cabinet. We're just gonna stay the same distance away and maybe go straight up. A trick to avoid some tear out, you can put some painter's tape there and it'll help a little bit. Just make sure to push it down real hard and that'll help keep it clean. Let's see how I did. Oh, beautiful. So for the interior panel, we're going to use 14 gauge, and it's pretty simple. We're just going to run it through. And we're going to run it straight up into the hole. We're going to be running it to the middle and then coming straight across, and then we're going to tie in to this little guy, and we're going to use 3/8 inch wire loom to contain the wires. On this side, we're going to be running the wire loom through this hole, and it's going to go right here, and then it's going to drop down to the box. So the fuse block is going to go right here, and I'm just going to chop this off. There should be plenty, and that's literally it for the 12-volt system. And then on the output side of the fuse block is going to be connected to a cigarette lighter, like a 12-volt plug. You know what I'm talking about. God, don't need to tell you guys. And then it just plugs into the Jackery and you have power. And when you want to take that Jackery in your house or to the picnic table or you know, to the ball game or wherever you want. Here we are. First thing I'm going to do is get this thing ready. This has a fuse in line, this black thing. So I'm gonna cut it off just past that. I like to keep that fuse. You can cut it off if you don't want to leave all this hanging. And then use the crimps or the strippers. We like to use these. These are called quick connects, and you can pull them apart. So the butt connectors, you crimp them closed and you got to cut it off if you want to take them apart. What this comes with is the USB, like a normal USB, and then it has a USB-C on the top, which is kind of nice, and that's a newer thing. So what happens is, you know, they come out with new stuff. So you might actually want to be able to remove this thing to update it. This one is just a 12-volt socket, and then this is just a power switch. So that's why we like to use the quick connects, just in case we want to remove them for whatever reason. Okay. Now we can connect this. There we go. All right, now we're in. So now I'm just gonna come in here and tie all these up with these cable clamps. All right, installing the door. So I put butyl tape on this already, and I dry fitted it. Beauty. Ha! What's up, guys? So, as you can see, we're getting very close to being finished with this thing, and I'm so stoked about the way it's looking. we went through some hard times there with the fiberglass, but I'm so glad we made the choice to smooth everything out and make it look pretty for this winter. Whoever's going to take it home is going to be very happy about this. Anyways, we are putting a tongue box on it. We have fenders, so these are just going to be screwed on there. So again, this is a budget-friendly build. So we're doing everything lightweight, light budget, and we're keeping everything low cost. I almost forgot the most important part of this build. The whole reason this is happening is this right here. The Jackery 1000 V2. Now this isn't really an ad per se. We had this idea to build this camper and we really wanted to give it away, and the only way that was possible is if to find a sponsor. So obviously this thing costs money and giving it away isn't always an option. We thought maybe we could sell it and just try to recoup our expenses, but really we just wanted to make content for you guys and help you build a camper similar to this on a budget. So we reached out to Jackery with the idea of maybe partnering. We're gonna be putting a Jackery Explorer 1000 V2 in this camper. If you guys would like to sponsor the video, they decided, because we have a great relationship with them, that they're gonna sponsor the entire series. So if you've watched this series, you already know that, and we've put a Jackery ad in most of these videos. The reason we love these guys is because of their brand, their humanitarian work, the people behind the mission. They believe that every person on Earth should have renewable sources of energy, like the battery pack here. Now, these things work perfectly for a tiny camper like this. However, you can pull it out and use it in your home. During Hurricane Helene and Milton, we were able to use and give out several of these to people that had lost power for several days, up to weeks. They were able to keep their refrigerators running, their lights on, their phones charged, and even their Wi-Fi was still working. If they had, a Wi-Fi that was actually on or a Starlink, they could connect to people outside of the disaster area and communicate. Now that the LA fires have been going on for several months now, they've decided to help them out as well. So they're doing the exact same thing. They're sending these units into LA and Southern California, where people are without power and without homes, and providing a means to charge their phones or to operate lights or whatever it is that they need. These things can be charged by the sun. So it's an amazing company. It's why we love them, and it's why you see so much of them in our content. So they don't just pay our bills, we love the product, and we continue our relationship because of that. I'll get to more of that once we start installing it, but right now, let's start working. Let's start with the fenders, get that out of the way. So that's pretty much where I want it. It's about even on both sides, and it's about even all the way around here. There's plenty of room here. That's about 4 inches or so inside. But I don't want this hanging down past the bottom of the trailer frame here, so I'm gonna try to cut it. That's where the trailer frame is. It's bumping up against that, and that's protruding out a little bit more, and it's creating a gap, so I don't want that gap. I'm also going to be using the same screws that I used to install the door. That's pretty much perfect right there. Whew! There we go. Dang. Okay, so I got 2 of these extensions on here. Look at that. Man, this thing looks great. All right, guys, that's beautiful. Ain't going nowhere. Let's do the other side. All right, so that's it, guys, for the fenders. Let's move on to the trailer lights. Before I start creeping around on this roller, I wanted to go over a couple things. Starting at this junction box right here, this is where we start the main trailer wires. So we're using the 4 green, yellow, brown, white standard trailer wires. And we connect here, and then we have the pigtail running up forward along the side of this. And then the rest goes around the trailer. And then we also run a duplex black and red the other direction on the other side of the trailer. And those are going to be for the running lights, so the 2 lights that go on the side. But what we do is we use these little guys. It's called the blue, it's called a Quick Connect. And you can find them at Home Depot, Lowe's, Bunnings, wherever you're at in the world. What's a hardware store in Europe? I know Bunnings is in Australia, and maybe New Zealand and Tasmania. But what's in Europe? If you could let me know. How about South Africa? Brazil, what do you got? Mexico, where are you going? Put them in the comments. All right, let's get started. First thing I'm gonna do is put in the lights. And for these, I'm gonna slip that little rubber piece in, and now I can pop the light in. I'm just gonna leave that dangling. Same thing back here. Pop the rubber and insert. And keep your minds out of the gutter, please. This is a family-oriented show. You guys are filthy. Running lights in. All right, now back here it's a little different. We're gonna be using these tail lights. I'm gonna be putting them here in the middle hole that's already provided. And then these go in with some self-tapping screws. How are we looking? 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see this one's a little bit brighter because I'm touching the left signal as well. Haven't screwed these on yet. All right, guys, next item on the list is going to be the tongue box. So I've never done this before on a Northern Tool trailer frame, so it's going to be a learning curve for us. But let's get it going. All right, so I just have it sitting on there right now. The one thing that it's got to do is be able to open, right? Good. It's going to be leaning up against this, which should be fine. So first things first, let's remove these, and then we'll decide where we're going to attach it. Once again, I forgot to turn the microphone receiver on, but I'll do my best to explain what's happening here in a voiceover. As most of you know by now, we're using a Jackery Explorer 1000 V2 to power the camper, and the way we're going to do that is using a 12-volt socket connector. So this end plugs into the Jackery, and the red and black ends get connected to the fuse block. Once it's all connected, all of the 12-volt electronics will work as they should. Now the best part about using a Jackery for your camper is it simplifies the electrical system and completely eliminates the need for an inverter, solar charge controller, battery charger, and a battery monitor. So this is a 110 volt inlet, and it's how you charge the camper while you're at a campground without needing to remove the Jackery. It's going to be installed on the side of the camper so you can plug a standard extension cord directly into the side. We're going to install the Jackery under the counter against the right wall, and we're going to use a strap and some metal brackets screwed into the floor framing to hold it down. So let's get into it. Oh my god. I think I just recorded a bunch of shit with the microphone off. The receiver was off. I'm sorry, Paige. I'm tired. But good news. We're about to turn this thing on. Alright, here's how you go. This thing's hooked up. I'm gonna plug it in. I'm gonna hit DC. That'll turn this on. Boom. Now we got three lights here on the fuse block. Can you see that? So it could be LED lights, it could be the vent fan. I'm gonna plug one in. Let's go see what works. All right, we got a blue light and a white light on. Turn it off, turn it on. If you hold it, it brightens up. Woo! If you hold it when it's off, it goes blue. That works. What's this? Boom. Working. We're pulling 13 volts. Beautiful. Oh, okay. This is it. The moment we've all been waiting for. It's the official announcement of the winner of our DIY Rambler camper giveaway.
One lucky person is about to take home this fully built off-road camper that we've been putting together piece by piece throughout this series.
But before we hit that button to randomly select a winner, we wanted to say thank you to everybody who entered the giveaway and has supported us along the way. It's been an insane journey. Now, before we pick a winner, Paige, tell us how this program works.
So we used an online giveaway program called Sweep Widget, which tracks all of the entries. As you saw, there were numerous ways that you could enter by subscribing, liking, commenting, joining our Patreon, etc. And everything is logged here. And I know that a couple people had some issues getting it to save, but we've made sure that everyone that has reached out is put in here. All of our Patreons have an extra 5 entries, and all we have to do now is click the button that says pick a winner.
All right, are you ready?
Let's do it. All right, no more waiting. Let's figure out who's gonna take this camper home.
Ready? All right. And the winner is...
Ooh.
Ooh!
Do it!
You winners.
Adam
Campbell! Adam Campbell, congratulations! Huge congratulations to Adam Campbell. You just won your very own off-road Rambler camper built by yours truly.
We'll be reaching out to you ASAP to get all the details sorted so you can claim your new adventure rig.
All right, Adam, you have 2 weeks to respond to us to claim your camper. If you didn't win this time, don't sweat it. We got big things on the horizon, and who knows, maybe even another giveaway. So be on the lookout and make sure you're subscribed for that.
And if this build has you fired up to build your own, we have all the resources you need. You can get your DIY plans, CNC kits, and custom trailer frames, all linked in the description below.
Also, if you're wondering what this entire build costs, don't worry, we're going to be posting the build cost breakdown in the next video. So make sure you're subscribed for that as well.
And again, a huge shout out to Jackery for making this giveaway possible. If you need a solar power setup for the road or a home backup, be sure to check them out. Links are below.
More than anything, we hope that this build series brought you the confidence to tackle your own build and start living life on your own terms. So be sure to drop a comment, hit that like button, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. See you guys. Was that good?
Yeah. Whew. We'll see you with a baby.